or blah, 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 blah. And then his boss goes, do you work here? And then the guy looks at him. So his boss asks Donald, are you back? Do you work here now? The guy looks at him and goes, do you work here? And then Donald's like, doesn't say anything. The guy goes, do you? And then Donald's still thinking, saying nothing. And again, the guy goes, do you? I mean, that's a good bit. If you're just going to watch this movie, go to like the 1 hour mark and just watch this really strange interaction from this guy who wants a tie.
Yeah, it was the perfect combination of like funny, heartfelt, and like quirky. Like it wasn't humor you usually see.
No. Do you? And then just the fact that he kept going back to the well. And then also, I want to know how Donald learned to drive boats, motorcycles, airplanes. And I want to know when they're playing that Scrabble banana game, why so Rose Byrne.
We own that game.
Oh, see, I think I had it too, but I've never played it. But Rose Byrne's playing glow. She's spelling out glow, sun, potter, fiddle, openness, dance. Donald is spelling out mummy, alone, pain, help, broken, bear, numb, lost, and abandoned. He has issues.
It's amazing.
So he knows how to fly airplanes, motorcycles, boats. He wipes out on a bicycle, which is which fits with his world because it's insane.
Right.
And he also has extreme family issues that manifest themselves frequently, which he has not dealt with.
Absolutely. No, so I love in gags like the banana split game they're playing, which is a great game. But again, her having Potter and hers, and then him having all, like, I love those things. My favorite Scrabble gag was the anti-gag in Superman Returns, where he's like crash landing and then his house like goes all shaky and the Scrabble board starts shaking. And it was in the trailer and everybody's like, what's on the Scrabble board? And there wasn't one reference on the Scrabble board whatsoever. Brian Singer was just like, no, I'm just going to put random words there. And people were like diving into it. It's like, oh, it's got to tell us something about, no, it didn't, not a thing. Not a thing was foreshadowed there. It was brilliant.
I'm going to do that in all my movies. I want to I know they mess with people in the Avengers, but I want to release a trailer where 20-second trailer and people do 1 hour think pieces on what everything means and it just means nothing. Right. Why was there a hot fudge sundae in Thanos' hand? Does that mean he's on Earth in the 1950s? Like, no, man, Thanos blows hot fudge sundaes.
I want to do a podcast where we just review the guys that tear apart the Avengers trailers, but after the movie comes out, where it's like all their wild, outrageous theories are just blown out of the water.
Just do a podcast about the bad predictions for Avengers movies.
Yeah, because they take it so seriously. They're like, in this scene, there's a picture of Scott Lang. However, I feel that it's CG'd in there, and actually, if Scott Lang will be part of the off-site, out of frame crew that's still there. And I'm like, it seems like a long, like, just use another shot. Like, it seems like the Marvel movies have really become their own thing.
Yeah,
they're more than cinema right now.
That's why I love Unbreakable. You've seen Unbreakable, right?
I love it.
A guy gets into an accident, realizes he has powers, then realizes that the supervillain was destroying things to see if people would survive. It's so straightforward.
Yeah.
That I don't even think is there a twist? There's no twist in Unbreakable, is there?
Well, I think the twist is that he is a superhero, right? I think that's the twist, is that he accepts it.
Yeah, but
because the whole time you're thinking he's crazy. The whole movie you're thinking that Glass is crazy.
Yeah, but that's not too much of an aha, right? It's a twist,
not
but
for
it's
M.
not.
Night.
It's not like a chub. Yeah. On the M. Night scale of stolen carrots, that's a 1.
That's a 1, exactly.
Yeah. But I mean, this movie though, and I'm so glad. How did we discuss? I just brought this up, and then you said you want. I think one day you asked me very seriously, Mark, how do you feel about? And I'm like, oh no, what's going on? And then what do you feel about Peter Rabbit? I'm like, oh, I love Peter Rabbit.
No, it's so. Here's what I'll say, and this, as a dad, it's rare. Now I know that Toy Story and Shrek changed the game, where it was like we're gonna make movies enjoyable for both parents and kids on different levels at the same time, and I get that, but as a dad, it's harder than you'd think to be able to find a movie you'll put on and the whole family will actually enjoy it.
Got it.
To sit down and just like digest it and really, and I'd say there's a handful that my family has. So like the How to Train Your Dragon trilogy, like those movies are near perfect.
I watched the third one and it is brilliant.
It's brilliant. They're brilliant.
Did you watch the third one yet?
Not yet. I'm taking my kids this week. It's a surprise.
Now, a quick question for you. And I'm derailing our podcast and I'm derailing your thought, but I'm going to do it because this is the Movie Films and Flicks podcast.
I'm sticking with my thought.
Now,
yep.
You're in a theater, right? And it's How to Train Your Dragon 3, so all the kids making noise you're totally fine with, because kids make noise in theaters. That's what they do. It's part of the fun watching a kids' movies. They're yelling and they're having fun. However, There was a woman next to me who was eating large popcorn, eating one crunchy kernel at a time with her mouth open.
Oof.
She snapped it, went, and then... Now, after about 30 minutes of me almost pulling my hair out, I just kind of said, hey, can you keep it down a little bit? Is that okay theater etiquette to ask somebody not to eat one?
I think so.
And then she got kind of offended. She's like, I didn't think I was making noise. And she threw the popcorn away to the side and got angry at me. And then I went and got popcorn. That probably even annoyed her more. But
her choice to get angry is not affected on you speaking your truth.
Yeah, I just couldn't listen. I didn't know if I was becoming too grumpy. Like I'm this 36-year-old dude sitting in the theater at How to Train Your Dragon 3 telling a woman to not chew popcorn so loudly.
No, I don't think you're being grumpy. I think that with what we pay for movie tickets these days, I want to enjoy the experience.
Yeah, I just couldn't. I couldn't do it. I was sitting there. I missed the. I couldn't focus. But yeah, back to your point. Sorry.
Yeah. So like those movies are great. Like The Iron Giant is one that is near perfect, and the whole family like gets together and watches that. So Peter Rabbit, like when we watched it, and I was like, not only is this like watchable. So I think like the brony phenomenon.
Yeah.
I think that stems because there's so much tripe in girls' television that when My Little Pony came out, dads around the world were like, I can watch this with my daughter and not go crazy.
Yeah.
Like I can kind of get into like, and I think they're like, oh, then there's this like affection for a show that they could enjoy with their daughter. But Peter Rabbit, I felt it wasn't like funny on two levels. It was just like perfect, enjoyable. We all laughed at the same jokes. We all laughed at the same circumstances. We all like had heartfelt moments at the same moments. Like it wasn't doing the Toy Story thing where it was like, we're going to make double entendre jokes, but also be a kid's movie. It was just a straight up right down the middle, perfect movie.
And the soundtrack even as well. So you have Len, Steal My Sunshine from the 90s, the Go soundtrack. We probably remember that. And
Absolutely.
then they had Mike Shinoda come back, 10% fame, 20. He recorded new lyrics for this for Will Gluck. You had Vampire Weekend doing songs. Portugal the Man. The soundtrack was so poppy and so eclectic. I loved. There's old songs, there's new songs. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah. So we downloaded the soundtrack. I put it onto a CD. We listen to it in the car all the time.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I kind of want that. It sounds fun. I've been listening to I got Muse tickets, so we've been listening to the latest album, getting caught up on all the Muse stuff. But maybe I'll start jamming out to that when I'm demused.
So when my family's in the car, we listen to the Peter Rabbit soundtrack, and then when it's just my daughter and I, we drive around dramatically listening to the Doctor Who soundtrack.
It was Mamma Mia 2 for Megan and I for a while. Megan had that soundtrack in her car, so we were jamming out to ABBA as sung by actors for a long time.
When I first got married, I had a 1993 Chevrolet Blazer.
Oh.
And we went on this road trip up to Northern Ontario. And it was like a 27-hour drive. But it was like 2002. But we didn't have a CD player in the car. We just had a tape player. And so we stopped at this little variety store, and they had tapes for sale. And I was like, yeah, we need to buy a tape and listen to tapes on our way up there. So we just bought whatever tapes they had because they were like 99 cents. So the first tape we put in was John Mellencamp's Greatest Hits.
Nice.
That got stuck in there for 3 years.
Ooh, Wild Nights.
But all I could listen to for 3 years was the best of John Cougar Mellencamp.
I had Foghat Live in my 98 Ford Ranger cassette player for years.
That's fantastic.
And I found that at a gas station.
Yeah, we lived the same life, just the American and Canadian version of it.
I'm going to hijack this again.
Do it.
Foghat Slow Ride. is a song that a lot of people know me for. I've written data articles about it on Movies, Films, and Flicks. I mean, my buddy DJ got me a hat that said Fog on it, like a trucker hat that said Fog. I mean, everywhere, whenever people hear Fog Hat, they send me pictures of their satellite radio with Fog Hat, or if Fog Hat's on a show, they'll send me the show with Fog Hat.
Amazing.
Now, when I listen to Slow Ride, it's so long that I feel like a different person after it's done. So I love the idea of Fog Hat, but listening to the entire, Boogie Motel, all their kind of, Fool for the City albums, but listening to Slow Ride all the way through in a live concert is painful. I just got to get that out in the world. I got to get that off my chest. And
I would say Slow Ride is like an anomaly for Fog Hat. It doesn't sound like the rest of their songs.
No, it doesn't. They're like, Fool for the City. Like they're much more, Boogie Motel.
Yeah, they're like a blues-based pop band, and then Fog Hat just kind of, or not Fog Hat, but Slow Ride comes out of nowhere, and it's this whole other thing.
Yeah, like I just want to make love to you, like the bluesy, yeah, very much so. Then I just think Fog Hat hits so hard in the beginning, and then by the 4th minute of the 3rd guitar solo, you just don't want any more of it.
You don't. And that's coming from a guitar player.
Have you ever tried? Have you ever fallen asleep soloing to Slow Ride?
I haven't, but when I was in high school, my high school like metal band, we covered Slow Ride, and we only did one solo half as long. We were like, let's not do this.
You did the radio edit.
We did the radio edit. We saved our solos for Freebird.
Yeah, you can't cut Freebird.
No, that Freebird works at 14 minutes long. It's not boring.
It never gets boring. I love Freebird in Elizabethtown. Everyone gives that movie stick, but I love that Freebird performance at the end.
Yes, absolutely.
Now, I think I would rather watch this 90-minute movie than listen to Slow Ride live.
So, children and adults watch movies differently.
Yeah.
And so I'm much like yourself. I'll watch a movie multiple times. But kids can watch movies over and over and over and over and over again, no problem. And so after Christmas, my son bought my daughter Peter Rabbit for Christmas.
Oh.
The week between Christmas and New Year's, I think they watched it 8-9 times.
Wow. I could do it.
Never got not funny.
I mean, because there's so much to it. You know what I've found is that my favorite movies to rewatch, right? Or my favorite movies in general, Royal Tenenbaums. There's so much richness in the production design. Hot Fuzz. Yeah. There is so much to Hot Fuzz. You almost need to watch it 10 times to get everything. Actually, that movie once, but just the music. So you can just play that. You can just put it on just to listen to the music. But some of my favorite, like Evolution. I love the relationship between Orlando Jones and Duchovny, and I always find new facets to that. Knight's Tale.
Evolution was one of the first 3 DVDs I bought.
No, that's so, dude. I love that movie. Sean William Scott, Orlando Jones, and Duchovny hanging out, and Julianne Moore falling all over the place. I love it.
So much going on.
I mean, Orlando Jones was underrated back in the day, but this one, dude, there's just so, like, there's these scenes where we haven't tackled 80% of the stuff I have notes on, but there's the stuff that I was falling off. I mean, I guess we can talk about it in the next break, but there's a scene in this movie where Donald Gleason, I know he has a name, Tom, but I keep saying Donald. He's coming in the house, and there is the what is it, like the badger?
Yes.
Yeah. And so the badger, everyone's hiding, but the badger's standing on top of a table, and Peter Rabbit's going, "Now you're a tablecloth." And then he poses another way.
Now you're a candelier.
Yeah, a candelier. And then he puts somehow, this is what I'm amazed about. This badger puts a lampshade over his head and puts a light in his mouth, and the light works.
Again, I don't know the rules, and I don't care.
Yeah, so a badger can conduct electricity in this world.
So but I have on more than one occasion walked into my living room with my daughter in a ball on the table, saying to me, "I'm a lazy Susan."
Oh yeah, lazy Susan. Yeah, at the end, I'm a lazy Susan.
And he's spinning. It's amazing.
And he can conduct electricity.
Yeah, no, 100%. He's got the badger power.
All right, so listen, we got a lot more to talk about. Let's take a break. When we come back, we'll talk more Peter Rabbit, and we're going to put together our all-animated Farm Attack squad when we get back.